Market for entry: Peruvian silver jewelry handmade for the U.S. market. New York, Queens has the following objectives. Identify key international marketing strategies that benefit income silver jewelry. The main factors influencing in the purchase decision. The distribution means greater acceptance and promotion. The best strategy for silver jewelry. Handmade Peruvian market in Queens. We should mention some background to help us inform the development of this research. First, we have a study by a DEX in 2012 which states that while the United States is saturated by exports from countries like India, China, Italy, there is still a market sector are dissatisfied, not being comfortable with low-quality articles. So crowded events at very low prices such as China and India offered, but neither can access items from countries like Italy that have high quality, exclusivity, design, innovation, but at very high prices means this sector is the niche we identified as potential for the introduction of Peruvian gem. From Peru indicates we should put more emphasis on product differentiation, either highlighting your identity, design, quality or exclusivity to be entirely hand-worked items. That is why this study tells us the importance of selling more than the jewel. Must sell the story behind each piece that serves as a great tool to justify its price. In 2008, economic crisis began in the United States, and by this factor consumer trend gold jewelry was forced to change and started using substitutes. Was the beginning of change. Fully gold items combinations that, while even having gold as veneer application or the amount had decreased considerably and was wearing silver. Further initiation of growth and migration of items that were other than gold or silver are the combinations mentioned as plated silver or plated in gold and silver items. Gold applications, considering that all these items are exported under the heading of silver jewelry. He identified the U.S. as a potential market as the first silver jewelry importer in Peru, being a large and highly consumerist market of luxury goods. In addition, identified a potential niche market that is unattended. Became an analysis which was identified in New York, Queens, the most populated and most cultural and ethnic variation was identified. Well over 50% of its population were women, and the average age of which was 38 years, for which we had a large target market that obeyed our segmentation criteria, defined as being economically independent women between the ages 20 and 45 years of age, have a monthly income of $2,000 and more, having already identified one of the populations analyzed. In the final consumer, in this case women in Queens, it was decided to support more research population Peruvian exporters of silver jewelry to the United States. They identified how physical distribution were noted international sales to wholesale importers who bought in volumes and placed their brand retailers distributing articles and unskilled who placed them in department stores, warehouses, jewelry, and so came to the final consumer. The assumptions made in the research were international marketing strategy that generates more benefits to Peruvian jewelry is in value added, quality and exclusivity, as well as the history and culture of each article. The main factors influencing the decision to buy silver jewelry for typical consumer market in New York, Queens are the quality, price and exclusivity of the article. The distribution channel with more acceptance in Queens County for silver jewelry is currently internet sales and department stores. The best promotional strategy for publicizing the Peruvian jewelry. Queens County fairs are regularly given. This research was a descriptive design symbol, worked with 2 women in Queens populations and export companies. Used 2 instruments: structured questionnaire and unstructured interview. The main factors influencing the purchase decision is the value added in the Peruvian silver jewelry handmade exactly fit with what these women say look for when buying silver jewelry. We must remember that it is our point of differentiation with other competitors is working with quality raw materials and skilled labor. upscale and highlight the issue of exclusivity that gives every piece of silver jewelry is handcrafted and uniquely identified. These products are being purchased for personal satisfaction of vanity. And that status is not as important to be a specific date or special to make the purchase. We must consider that there are some who prefer to make your purchase promotions and deals when they appear, so could incorporate it as a strategy for market introduction. Among the factors that influence the buying decision of the customers, we have identified that there is a deep affinity between typical American customer and the use of gold in jewelry. However, the crisis experienced in 2008 greatly affected the economies of many major customers buying gold jewelry for use in personal satisfaction, rising disproportionately the cost of raw materials, and therefore the cost of gold jewelry were left out of the possibility of purchasing. Much of the market is where silver items start to become important. However, the market was reluctant to leave the use of gold, so was born a new option to use gold jewelry that were not so costly. Born this way, items made of silver but gold-plated or coated, other than being wore silver gold leaf applications. These veneers and applications over time have become increasingly thinner and smaller and has been logging the use of lower carat gold for daily use on the market today. Of many leading silver jewelry, gold veneer applications are 14 or even 10, and this way have become increasingly available and competitive for a demanding market, but not yet overcome. Finishes experienced economic crisis. The distribution medium with greater acceptance for women in Queens is in the specialty stores, department stores, and show a preference for imported goods, while exporting companies in the wholesale importers have the distribution media of greater importance. The international marketing strategies. More jewelry income benefit is to identify the right business model that allows them to find a strategic partner to benefit and facilitate market entry, generating close business relationships with wholesalers, and thus overcome social and ideological barriers that hinder the entry. Another strategy is vital traceability and certification processes, where it is important to guarantee the quality from raw material extraction, development through decent work with partners, careful environment to the final item. Introducing new trend. As bronze jewelry has a different business model but attractive and profitable in the main promotion strategies for women identified as final consumer promotions, contests, sweepstakes, and coupons are some of the strategies that are more welcoming. Basically, the price reduction is an important strategy in common with exporting companies. This additional strategy, whose main international fairs promoting the development of samples and catalogs. Some of the conclusions were, according to the research results, it can be stated that the main marketing strategy that benefits the entry of Peruvian silver jewelry handmade market of the United States, New York, Queens, is the added value of quality and exclusivity for the end user or consumer. But for the intermediate customer, wholesale traceability regulation processes from the extraction of raw materials to the finished jewel and certifications are of vital importance and a point of differentiation with great potential to worldwide. The best promotional strategy for silver jewelry. Handmade Peruvian trade fairs are important in the industry. Help develop business relationships with new and potential customers and suppliers as strategic partners who serve them more competitive. It was identified that the lack of technology and specialization of inputs is a constraint to the development of the sector and meeting foreign demand for innovation and quality of the items. The articles of bronze jewelry, and gold-plated silver jewelry with gold leaf are new business models for exporting companies looking to reduce costs and risks for a profit similar to that obtained with the pure silver jewelry. From the conclusions, we identify the following recommendations. Consider implementing specialized processes that enable quality control, continue to maintain the standard but are handled optimized production. times to meet the entire demand and reduce production costs for excess waste or items that do not meet the standards set in this way may offer more attractive prices for the market. Enter items. Peruvian silver jewelry crafted in internationally important exhibitions that allow them to exhibit in a glass case recognized by the major wholesalers. Develop and deliver catalogs with unique and innovative designs for better visual impact. Conduct a study to identify the main reasons of stagnation for the modernization and development of the sector, specialization of inputs and possible alternatives for its activation and operation. Identify potential markets for new jewelry trends, mixed materials, and establish business income strategies. For each of them, the best alternatives-oriented sales and penetration for each of the cases.